Hello and welcome to Keanu Club, like a cool breeze over the mountains. This is episode either 79 or 80, and I will explain why in a second. Between Two Ferns, the movie from 2019. I'm Joey Lewandowski.
And Mike Manzi.
And the reason it's 79 or 80 is just because last week, just last week, Mike, you and I recorded with Mike Flynn, the John Wick expert himself.
That's right.
We recorded our Parabellum episode of this very fine podcast. This, I think, is gonna. This is gonna be like a 15 or 20 minute episode. I'm sure.
Just come out first.
And I'm gonna edit this tonight when I go home. I'm just gonna put it out. And it's basically, hey, Keanu Reeves is in Between Two Ferns, the movie, and the movie's great, and he's great.
Yeah, I mean, this would have probably ended up somewhere on like a clip show episode or something where we would have done like a compilation of a bunch of his little cameos and stuff. But like, yeah, this kind of caught us off guard. I had no idea. I didn't know any of the celebrities that are in this movie when I started watching it, except that Keanu was going to be in it, and I found out like the day or two before
Yeah,
the
so
movie
what
dropped.
happened was that I listen to Comedy Bang Bang every week, and this was co-written and directed by Scott Aukerman, who's the host of Comedy Bang Bang. And so this past week, on both Comedy Bang Bang and Freedom, because Lauren Lapkus is the co-star of this movie along with Zach Galifianakis.
Yes.
And she's on Freedom, and so they've been talking for a while. They announced her a while, like she's in the movie, and then they were sort of joking, like, can we basically announce that Paul is in the movie? Because Paul F. Tompkins plays just like the very
game show
overt,
host.
like, message in a TV, like, hey, never give up on your dreams, which is just great. But then slowly over time, they would announce star here, star there, or whatever. And so they had last week, the Comedy Bang Bang episode was with Zach and Lauren. It's basically the four main actors. It's Zach and Lauren and Ryan Gall, and I don't remember the woman's name who plays the sound boom person. Yeah, they were talking about different things, and at the end, they mentioned Keanu Reeves, and I texted you. I was like, do you know? Because I didn't know.
I
was
had
like,
no
and we're
idea.
like, what? Something I was already going to watch very clearly weekend of. I was like, oh, I really need to watch it now because this is podcast material.
Yeah, and I woke up Friday morning and I put it on right away. And the first thing I'll say is I had to actually search for this in Netflix.
Oh, really? Because when I put it up, it was like the big banner.
Oh, was it? Okay, I had to actually search Between Two, and then it popped up. So get on that, Netflix. Yeah, I put it on right away, and the first thing I noticed is he comes really early in the movie.
McConaughey, and then it's him.
Yeah, his second celebrity right out of the gate there. Very brief appearance. I think one of the shortest ones, but very strong to have him like right at the top like that.
The story of this movie. So if you don't know Between Two Ferns, it's a Funny or Die series, and now it's also on YouTube. That is created by Scott Aukerman, I think, and probably with Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah.
And Zach offers really awkward, terrible interviews of celebrities,
Yeah.
and he sits between two ferns, and it's just like this awkward thing. And they had Obama on, like it got really big.
It got huge.
Like it's
Charlize
a very
was
popular
on.
thing. I think there were probably about 21, I think, in total. And so they just, I guess to commemorate the movie or whatever, they did a full interview, which I've not seen yet, with Paul Rudd, and they put that on YouTube.
Oh, I think what they did is everyone on the movie got a full interview show.
Which I would
and they're
love
gonna
to
release
see.
one on
Yeah,
one.
I would
one by
love
one.
that. So what the movie is Zach wants to be taken seriously. He wants his own actual late night talk show on the Lifetime Network because he's a straight white man and he deserves it.
I thought first he was like, I want a Lifetime. I want it.
For the rest of my lifetime.
Yeah, for the rest
Yes.
of my life, but actual Lifetime Network.
Will Ferrell says, okay, if you give me 10 interviews, because their studio
10
gets trashed,
10
you give me
shows.
10 shows in the next 2 weeks.
Yes.
Let's make it interesting. By next Monday, you can I'll give you a TV show. And so they go across country. It's the four of them, and they're just going from celebrity to celebrity
Road
and
trip.
interviewing these. And it's a road trip movie interspersed with the different interviews. But before the studio gets trashed, Keanu is like, I'm Keanu Reeves. I'm here for my Between Two Ferns interview.
He shows up at their studios, their little like just.
Oh, it's the
like
public access
public-
in North Carolina. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like UHF. It's great.
And I intentionally don't want to spoil the jokes, but I do really want to sort of congratulate Keanu again for sort of the second movie in a row that we've watched, right? Because we saw John Wick earlier, but like this and Always Be My Maybe.
Yeah.
He's embracing the fact that people make fun of him.
Yeah, he's in on it. These are good cameos too. Unlike, those cameos he came in and like only cowgirls get the blues and
boy.
and sorry to
Two
remind
big
you.
thumbs down. Contractually obligated to say that joke.
It's a bad action movie. Just a bad movie.
Just a bad movie.
But I agree. Like, I love how he is like leading into his persona because, like, even Cage talks about it now too. Is like the internet takes everything
Yes.
in a different direction to another level, and so it's like, you could either fight it embrace it or ignore it, right? And like if you ignore it or you fight it, like there you can't revel in it, and there's no fun. And you know he is. It really seems like it's kind of because I always see Keanu, some guy. He's like kind of in a shell a little bit, and
Hmm.
like he's coming out of that shell.
Yeah.
Like he's really kind of, you're right, poking fun at himself and all that kind of stuff.
And I
So
think what's actually really cool, and I sort of want to divert from Between Two Ferns for a second and sort of echo a really good conversation that Jordan and Kara had on a recent Wistful Thinking. So they
okay.
talked about Biodome for 20 minutes, and I was like, how is there still 35 minutes of this episode left? But then they talked about like streaming media and just all about that kind of stuff. They were talking about the evolution of movies and things like that, and Jordan was like, are there still because she was talking about straight to VHS movies, and she's like, do those still exist? Kara's like, oh, of course they do. They're just straight to VOD. And I
Yeah.
messaged him. I'm just like, Mike and I have watched like 25 Cage movies that you have never heard of
Mm-hmm.
in the last 3 years that are all straight to
Yeah,
VOD.
most people haven't heard of him.
And so, what I think is really interesting and cool and sort of empowering in a way is that as movies have gotten smaller, sort of like as a democratization of being able to make a movie, like this is the brand new iPhone, like this
Right.
is a better camera than like most like I could
Mm-hmm.
shoot like beautiful video. I'm not going
Yeah.
to, but I could. You
No.
know what I mean? But like
Right.
aside from maybe like red cameras and maybe one tier below that, this is better than anything that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that this is now for $60 a month, I can have this. Anybody can make a great movie, and I
Yeah.
think that the ability for anybody to do that and just like make things cheaply and quickly and easily gives actors like Keanu Reeves and like Nicolas Cage and whoever the ability that if they find a role, they find a movie that they want to play a small part in or sort of make fun of themselves or whatever, they're able to do that. Because it's not like Keanu every movie has to be a blockbuster anymore, right? Like it can just be
Right.
sort of whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that giving him the ability to like be a little cameo and always be my maybe while filming John Wick 3
Mm-hmm.
or doing
Yeah.
this for a day in LA somewhere, like I
Yes.
like that because movies both are made and distributed in brand new ways, gives these actors the ability to be like, if I don't have to bear the burden of being a
Yes.
leading man, I can be a villain. I think that Keanu, especially as we followed
Yeah,
Morgan
we've
and the
said that a
Keanu Club
lot.
the
Yeah.
last 4 or 5 years, he's really leaned into like interesting
Yeah,
roles.
against this type of
Whereas
stuff.
Cage is just like, I don't care how low budget this is. We love him. I need to be the leading man.
Yeah, exactly. Keanu's got more of sort of more freedom right now because he's in this huge franchise. John Wick has blown up
Yes.
and everything, and it's sort of that sort of saved him from his VOD hell, right?
Yeah.
Because you look at how many people are there right now, like John Travolta and stuff like that. Several movies deep now into VOD territory, but like Keanu had one or two, right, and then he kind of popped right out of
Yeah.
that again, and he got
Hmm.
really Siberia. Maybe that hit some theaters, I don't know, but like he got really lucky. He could be wallowing there like Cage is, you know. And again, I love what the Cage VOD collection has become and what it is and stuff, but we're of a very minor perception, I think, of
Oh,
those
for
movies.
sure.
But yeah, and I think that's, just where Cage is like, without sort of that mainstream franchise appeal. It's not like people forgot who he was because his movies are classic now, but like people aren't watching his new stuff.
I think it's adapting to culture and internet and memes and just his career in a way
Hmm.
that maybe isn't as, I'm sure that he could make more money, obviously, if he does what Cage does, right? Like, if he goes to a movie where the budget's $5 million and he makes $4 million of that, right? And
Yeah.
just like, I'm on set for 6 weeks and this is the movie and it's a bad movie, but I'm in it, I'm the star of it, and 8 people are going to watch it and 2 people are going to love it, and they're you and me.
Right.
I think that his ability to be like, oh no, like he's wealthy enough that he gave all of his money from the Matrix like to charity. Like he's just
Yeah.
set, right? And he just
Yeah.
knows, like, let's just have a good time, kind
Yeah.
of, and
Yeah.
surround myself with like weird, fun, creative people, and just do a thing that people
Yeah.
can be like, oh, that was really cool.
Yeah, and it's too bad Cage can't do that because I think the last time he did something like that was like the Snowden movie, where
Yeah.
he had like two short scenes as Snowden's sort of kind of mentor
Hmm.
guy, like the previous like version of what Snowden what might have been and stuff. And so like, he probably did that because it was an Oliver Stone film, and I'm sure he gets offered like small little roles and stuff like that from time to time, where
Yeah.
it's like we just want you to come in for a scene, do your thing, take a bow, and leave. And it's just like, I mean, ego, work ethic, whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just like, I want the whole movie or something. And so, you know,
And I think that's something that we talk about a lot with a lot of the actors. And I don't want to be ageist because there's movies that, in theory, could be made and should be made and starring all ages.
hmm
But I feel like at a certain point, Cage and Keanu and even Shia and everyone, you kind of I want to see them lean into the weirdo kind of character roles because they all have been and still are leading actors. But I also think that there's more interesting stories to be told and like more interesting performances to see when you're only on screen for 2 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. Like I love Shia, and like he disappeared for so many years. I mean, he did play John McEnroe, which was a pretty good interpretation. I mean, but like he has to play his own dad in his next movie. You know what I'm
But
saying?
he's
Like,
also in the Peanut Butter Falcon, which I don't think it wasn't a huge movie. It was a Hollywood movie and it was really good. So I think
okay,
he just like I think he scared Hollywood away. I think that's what happened here. And
okay,
Keanu, I think just sort of slowed down a little bit and just like I'm gonna be in on a Lily Amirpour's movie. I'm gonna be
hmm,
in a Nicholas Winding Refn movie for a couple days. I'm gonna
yeah.
be in this weird Scott Aukerman Netflix movie. Like I
I'm gonna
just
and do the Bad Batch.
yeah, exactly. I'm just glad that he's doing things like this. Like, I would love
Right.
to do like 10, 15 minute. Like, I don't want him to be in 10 movies a year, but if he's in 10 movies a year, that's cool. But, like, I wouldn't mind doing 10, 15 minute episodes of Keanu Club a year just to be like,
Yeah.
oh, he's great in this, go see this movie.
Well, what's nice is I think we might see a lot more of this. I think this is just the beginning because there's kind of a Keanu-sans going on
Of course.
online. Like we've been aware of
Well,
it,
this
you
is also
know.
very clearly the
But
year
like,
of Keanu.
yeah, and next year it doesn't seem like it's going to slow down because Bill and Ted's coming out next summer.
Well, in this movie, he is either Bill or Ted, so
And I feel like we're going to get a few things, a few surprises
sure.
between then and now, and then John Wick 4 on the horizon. So like, yeah, he's got a full plate. I think this is a new phase, right?
Hmm.
Like I think we're in a new phase of Keanu, and I'm loving it.
Plus, eventually, I mean, sooner probably rather than later, he's going to be in a Marvel movie, and he's also hopefully going to be
Yeah.
in a Hobbs and Shaw movie.
Oh, right.
And so they're going to be very big movies and also very small movies, and just sort of weirdo independent things and whatever that is going to be in. So we're here for it.
Exactly. Yeah.
In terms of Between Two Ferns, the movie, before we wrap up,
Mm-hmm.
what was your favorite part, your favorite
Oh
interview,
boy.
anything? What
Hmm.
stands the test of
Well,
time? If we're going to do a walk down memory chain, too
okay.
fast, too forever question, if you think of this movie, what's the first thing you think of?
I'm not a practicing Jew. I've perfected it. That
Aunt
line was
Man.
like incredible. Yeah, Aunt Man delivered that, and you could see they left it as long as they could because he instantly was about to crack up. But that is my favorite line, and I love the Letterman stuff was just great. I thought the Letterman and in the end credits as well, but all the Letterman stuff.
Yes. So my problem with the movie is that, and I was talking to Larson about this today, and I sort of had like like we sort of agreed and also wildly disagreed. I think that the interviews were kind of the worst part of this, just because I was invested in the road story that they were telling,
Okay.
and then I felt like when they got to the interviews, they couldn't do like a full thing because it was only going to be an 80-minute movie,
Mm-hmm.
and like Scott talked about how he had thought about Spinal Tap and Popstar and was like, this movie needs to be 80 to 85 minutes because like if it's longer than that, we're going to overstar it. Welcome.
Yeah.
And so he sort of had a self-imposed, this is what the movie is going to be lengthwise, right? Having to show 10 of those, and they're really funny, and I love the closing credits, I love the outtakes, I love the bloopers,
Mm-hmm.
because they all are just so giddy to be there,
Yeah.
and just be saying the dumbest things, like Zach just asking the dumbest questions in the world, and like him cracking up at his own dumb questions is great too. But I feel like going from a pretty solid, fun, entertaining road movie to just like 2 minutes of Tiffany Haddish, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like both of those in equal parts. I sort of maybe wish that either, like, I wouldn't mind if the movie was longer. And I also think that the problem is, and Scott was talking about this on Comedy Bang Bang last week, because everybody laughs at almost every question, they have to really awkwardly edit it.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you're able to have a 4 or 5 minute interview instead of like a 90-second interview, you can let things live a little bit more. It feels less produced. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
think that was sort of my drawback. But I mean, I love the ending. I loved.
Oh, Ferns.
I mean, no, I
Welcome
mean, I
back
love
to
I liked
Ferns.
Ferns, but I mean, I really loved the outro, the bloopers over the
Oh,
credits.
oh, okay, yeah, yeah. I hear you. Like, I thought maybe if he had just needed to get like certain celebrities, right? Like, you need to get five. You have to get
These
these
five
five
celebrities, yes.
people, and hunt them down, or maybe even some under like auspicious circumstances. Like, you can't let them know like they're being filmed and stuff. Yeah, I hear you. It's funny how invested I ended up getting in like the actual like behind the scenes documentary, like the mockumentary, I guess, like style of the rest of the movie. It really engrossed me, and
Like I
so
love Lauren Lapkus. I think she was great.
I didn't really know the other two people that
So
well,
Ryan
so like
Gall
I
is
like them a
also on
lot.
Comedy Bang Bang. He's maybe most known for being. I think he's on I think he's on actually like a big I think he's on a network show now, but I know him from Bajillion Dollar Properties.
Who
He's
is
one of
he
the stars in
on?
that.
Who is he on Bang Bang? Does he have? Do you know any
So
of his
do you know
characters?
The Calvin's
Oh,
twins?
the
He plays the
horse,
triplet. Yeah, he's the third.
horse
He's the
punch.
new one.
The Calvins. Hey,
You gotta laugh.
everybody. Well, it's a horse farm.
I loved Adam Scott when he shows up. He's just like,
Okay.
I'm from Parks and Recreation. Zach's like, finally, I'm just tired of interviewing all these actors. He's like, no, I'm from.
Like Jason Schwartzman shows up to say nothing. Like
Yeah.
that's a great gag. And John is it John Cho?
John Cho is in there, yep. Bit parts like I love Paul F. Tompkins on screen for a second. I love Mary Holland on screen for a second. I love, just like people that we know from the Bang Bang world, like that
Yeah,
scene,
yeah.
just show up for a minute. I think that's great. Brie Larson was really good. The Chrissy Teigen stuff was weird.
Oh,
I
but the
liked
John
it.
Legend stuff was good.
Was so awkward and weird. The John Hamm stuff, like all the celebrity interviews were great. John Hamm was great. Haley Steinfeld was great. Aquafina.
So,
Tiffany Haddish.
I wanted to ask you something because I watched it twice, second time with Andrea, and we both picked up on like Zach's hair and stuff, like his continuity.
Oh yeah, no, his hair like when he
Is
like, outside was
completely
just
off,
like,
right?
yes, yes.
Okay, I was just making because they probably had to like film certain parts whenever they could and pick up
And
a
they
lot
did
of stuff here
reshoots
and
too,
there.
yeah.
Okay, because I was like thought I was going a little nuts, and it wasn't. I figured that wasn't part of his character. That was just sort of.
No, if you
like
also
a
watch
technical
Ryan
thing.
Gall, who's the cameraman, Cameron Campbell, aka Cam, the cameraman, he's always got a mustache, but his like beard is wildly either.
Yeah,
and like, they
okay.
just had to just because like they were doing other things, they just had to film it.
Yeah.
Like they kept like part of it consistent, but like for the most part,
Yeah, it goes so fast too. Like you wouldn't tell unless you've watched it a couple times.
it's also not the movie that like it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like it's
Right,
that's not
right,
yeah.
right.
And I know that you're not nitpicking it, but it just
No,
you know.
no. It was just I wanted to know if you caught that. Yeah.
Yes, for sure. He would get in the car like it's a nice tight cropped haircut, and then outside he's just like basically like wearing a wig. Like I don't, and maybe it was on purpose. I don't know, but yeah, for sure.
And he's got a great wardrobe in this too, Zach Galifianakis. All the child T-shirts that he wears, like, or not T-shirts, but like the collared shirts with like
Yes.
the stripes and stuff.
But this movie is on Netflix. I don't know if we've said that yet or not, but it's on Netflix, so go check it out on Netflix. Free if you have that, or if you have someone's login, it's going to be there, I guess, forever. I'm just very excited for the addendums on YouTube, the full interviews.
Yeah,
like we said,
me
there's
too.
one out already, the Paul Rudd, the Aunt Man one, and there's
So
going to be
good.
more, I would imagine. But yeah, if we do if there's a full Keanu one, maybe we'll do a whole other
We'll
episode.
Come back
I don't
for
know.
that. Put a tag on this.
Yeah, exactly. Any other thoughts about Between Two Ferns, the movie?
No, definitely go check it out.
So for all things Keanu Club, you can go to cageclub.me, facebook.com/cageclub, or at cageclubpod on Twitter and Instagram. Email us, mailbag@cageclub.me. Check out, in just a couple of days, dropping is the John Wick 3 episode. I feel like there's going to be, do we have another one on the horizon? Toy Story 4 we got to do this year. Because
Oh my
we haven't
gosh,
talked
that's
about that
right.
yet. Yeah, we got a cool
Duke.
guest for that one lined up. Duke Kaboom. So go check that out. So we got, Always Be My Maybe from earlier this year. We've got this one. We've got John Wick.
Dude,
We're
I
going to have
totally
Toy Story.
forgot he was in Toy Story, and I saw it twice, and I was like, oh my god, that's exactly what
Duke
we're talking about with
Kaboom!
like the mini rolls.
Yeah.
It's great.
So go do all those things and check out our other 25 shows on the network, especially Tom Tom Club. Every Friday, Mike and I talk about Tom Cruise and Tom Hanks movies, alternating. We're in the midst of some really great Tom Cruise ones, and we're on the verge of some really great Tom Hanks ones, so go check those out. And we'll see you next time for John Wick 3 in just a couple of days, right here on Keanu Club.